Hello everyone and welcome to Life Begins at 20. My name is Mark and today we have episode 22 of Booster Pack Friday. I'm sorry that there wasn't a video last week only because I was really ill. I couldn't actually physically film anything just because my voice was all over the place. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think anybody would have wanted to see that anyway. So we're back this week with a pack of Modern Masters 2017. So hopefully we can find ourselves something nice for pack 1, pick 1, or even just a lottery ticket of a really nice card to be able to get our money's worth here. We're talking like, Liliana or a Tarmogoyf would be perfect, or even a fetch land would be really nice as well. So for those new to these videos, what we're going to do is open up a pack and check what pack 1, pick 1 would be as though this was a draft. So without any further ado, let's just get stuck in. So just get stuck into pack and see what we find. Definitely very happy with the things that I've opened up so far in Modern Masters, so let's see if we can get ourselves a nice little lottery ticket going on here. So first up we've got Call of the Conclave. So for a green and a white, create a 3/3 green centaur creature token. That's really nice, and Populate is a really great mechanic as well, so that's a pretty good card to start off with. Next we've got Dimir Guildgate. These are always really nice to have, not necessarily for first picks, but the fact that you can go between a lot of different colours and draft maybe 3 colour decks within draft, this is always good to have later on. Next we've got Ogre Jailbreaker. So for 3 and a black, we've got a 4/4 defender. Ogre Jailbreaker can attack as long as you control a guild gate, so even more so that these guild gates are really useful to have, and a 4/4 for 4 is pretty decent as well. Next up we've got Hungry Spriggan. So for 2 and a green, it's a 1/1 with Trample. Whenever it attacks, it gets +3/+3 till the end of turn. Again, not great first pick choice right there. When it's defending, it's basically useless. But if you're just going to be constantly swinging in with an aggressive style deck, this might actually be fairly useful, but certainly not first pickable. Next up, we've got Seagate Oracle. I do quite like this card as well. So for 2 and a blue, you got yourself a 1/3. Nice little defender to have there in blue. And when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other one to the bottom of your library. So that's always nice to have as well, extra bit of card draw. You can then flicker him as well if needs be to even get some more card draw, so that's nice to have. Next up, we've got Golgari Rotworm. So for 3, a black and a green, you've got yourself a 5/4. You can pay 1 black, sacrifice a creature, and target loses 1 life. Okay, the actual ability itself isn't great unless you're going to get yourself a lot of tokens, in which case, fantastic. You can do it over and over and over again if needs be, and it might actually do enough damage over the course of the game to get you through. It's just a nice solid body as well. Next up, we've got Shimmering Grotto, so pretty land heavy in this pack so far. You can either tap for colourless mana, or you can pay 1 to add 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool, so that's always useful for a little bit of fixing as well there. It's not aggressive style fixing, so obviously you're paying 1 other land to try and get there, but it still can be quite useful if you're trying to get a 3 colour deck. Next up, we've got Handwheel Lancer. So for 2 and a red, you've got a 2/2 with Soulbound. As long as it's paired with another creature, both creatures have first strike, so that is a fairly useful mechanic. It's not necessarily the best one in the world because obviously if one of them gets killed off, then there's neither of them have first strikes. The one left doesn't, so it's not the best there. Next up, we've got Momentary Blink. So for 1 and a white, exile target creature you control and returns to the battlefield under its opponent's control. So that's really nice. Abusing enter the battlefield mechanics, and that's that kind of thing's really nice. Or worst case scenario, something swung into attack. It'll get killed off by the blocker. You can then flicker it to make sure it stays alive as well. And it's also got flashback as well, so that's a really strong card within this format. Next up, we've got Crippling Chill. So it's a 2 and a blue. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, and draw a card. Not a fantastic card by any stretch of the imaginations. It's just, giving you a little bit more time to try and find your answer. Into the uncommons, we're going to start off with Banishing Stroke. So for 5 and a white, put target artifact, creature or enchantment on the bottom of its owner's library. You're only really wanting to get this for that miracle cost of 1 white, and that's only if you manage to draw it as the first card you draw this turn. If this gets in your starting hand, for example, and you're playing Miracles, I would 100% mulligan that hand straight away because you do not want to see these in your hand. Next up, we've got Vithian Stinger. So for 2 and a red, you get yourself a 0/1. You can tap it and it will deal 1 damage to target creature or player, so over the course of the game that might actually do a fair amount of work for you. Plus you can use the unearth cost, so you get to return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, exile at the beginning of the next end step. So realistically there, it can get killed off, and if you just need to get that extra little bit of damage through, you can then unearth this, tap it, deal that one, ping it for 1 bit of damage, and that's always really nice to have. Next up, we've got Opportunity. So for 4 and 2 blue, target player draws 4 cards. Really nice in blue there. They're always going to be happy to draw that many cards. To be perfectly honest, it's fairly expensive, but in a draft scenario where potentially games might go a little bit longer, could be a very good card. And our rare is, oh, there we go, Evil Twin. So for 2, a blue and a black, you can have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it gains blue and a black, tap it, destroy target creature with the same name as this creature. So it's potentially a nice bit of removal. Obviously your opponent can see it coming a mile off. But if you can copy yourself something massive like a Crate Hoof Behemoth, Grizzlebrand or something along those lines, it could become very, very useful. But the likelihood is it's not going to do that great work for you. And our foil is Woolly Thoktar. Now this is a pretty good card, to be perfectly honest. So for red, a green and a white, you've got yourself a 5/4. And if you're playing multicolored decks, if you can get this out on turn 3, that's a really, really nice strong body on there for you. Really nice card there. And a giant warrior token. Not the best pack here by any stretch of the imagination, but some interesting choices with either Call of the Conclave, Momentary Blink or Golgari Rotworm, but I'm going to have to go with a risky choice of Woolly Thoktar. A potentially tough casting cost of red, green and white, but it's rewarded significantly with this 5/4 body. There are fetch lands, guild gates and signets which make this casting cost a lot easier. It would certainly fit into a lot of decks, whether aggressive or mid-range, plus it's the perfect body in a green-red beatdown deck and a great target for Blood Rush cards. So there we have my choice from this pack. The foil Woolly Thoktar can certainly replace my non-foil one in my cube, so I'm happy about that. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Do you agree, or would you have gone in a completely different direction to me? I'd love to know in the comments section below. In the next video on the channel, I'll be taking a look at the dual deck Mind vs Might, which was postponed due to illness, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, do hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Make sure you hit that notification bell to know when exactly it comes up online. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.